Yes, indeed. You're very welcome back to the second part of this evening's programme. If you have a sports story for us, anything you'd like featured on our programmes or indeed bulletins, just drop us an email. The email address there is sport@wrfm.com. We're going to continue with the Gaelic Games trend this evening, and Ballyduff Upper will be playing in the Senior Hurling Championship for 2021 after being crowned intermediate champions in Fairfield last night. An absolutely rip-roaring decider between themselves and Ballyduff Lower. It was Upper who came out on top in the end, 132 to 223, and was on commentary duty on the live streaming service last night, and it was a real end-to-end game up and down the field. Brilliant pace, great attitude from both teams, and really contributed to an excellent decider. But it's Ballyduff Upper who've made that swift return to the senior ranks for next season. Relegated last year, of course. I know they were disappointed with that, but they've regrouped and got their just desserts last night then, as Andrew Casey and Kevin Casey, the joint captains, accepted the cup afterwards. So big congratulations to Ballyduff Upper on their victory, and a pretty unique post-match meal in Fairfield as well on the back of the stand there as well. So I appreciate the grub as well at Ballyduff Upper last night. Thanks indeed for that, lads. Big thanks to John Jackson and all the crew there, and I know they headed back to Ballyduff Upper to greet their family and friends and things like that in the village last night. So do hope that indeed panned out well. Your heart goes out to Ballyduff Lower. They absolutely left everything on the field. Commiserations, lads, you gave it everything. But Ballyduff Upper will be playing senior hurling next season, 132 to 223. Let's get some post-match reaction now from Fairfield last night. First of all, we're going to hear from Mikey Kearney, who shot 19 points last night. I think I got it wrong in the actual piece. I think he said I thought he got 20, but in fact I was cleared afterwards to say he got 19, 9 frees, 9 from play and a 65. Phenomenal performance by the inter-county man. I spoke to him after the full-time whistle.
Delighted now that we are to get back up senior, but we had a fair battle on our hands there now today. Ballyduff Lower gave it everything, and I thought it was after slipping away from us, but we just pegged it back there on Maurice goal, just gave us that bit of life again, and we kicked on from there.
Absolutely, credit to both teams, like 132 to 222 or something like that. I'm not sure what way it ended, but the scores and the level of skill on display was absolutely second to none. Was it an enjoyable kind of game, an open game to play in maybe?
Yeah, it was really enjoyable. Even coming down here today, there was just kind of excitement more than anything from our team anyway. But as you can see, some of the scores there and the high score on 132 and 223, like, it was a game that had everything, and even I thought it might even gone to extra time there, but kind of had everything there, so I'd say it was an enjoyable watch for everyone.
Certainly was, yeah. People got their value for money on the streaming service anyway, and like, you raced into a 6-1 lead. You were using that ball very well, I suppose, in the early exchanges, and that diagonal ball, even looking for yourself there in the corner, and that, like, your use of the ball was very impressive. You kind of always held that lead in the first half, and you were 14-7 up as well at one stage.
Yeah, we kind of got that lead, like you said there, got a couple of points, but then they kind of came back at us, and it was kind of point for point, which we kind of weren't happy with it coming into half time. We said, like, we needed to get a run of scores to keep ahead, and like Ballyduff Lower, the team like there, came back at us, and they got a point and brought it back to 2 and 3, and then they stuck one, and they knew that they had it, like, they thought they were going to keep going, and even when they stuck the second goal, Jack Kennedy, I think, pulling it was like, it really took a bit out of our wind out of us, but luckily, like I said, we got back, and Murray stuck that one from a tight angle, and that really just gave us that bit of fire we needed in our bellies, and we just, from there, we kicked on.
Yeah, that really was a turnaround. I think he reeled off 1-5 without reply when Jack got the goal at the other end, and Owen got the goal, and you just tacked on the scores. It was a brilliant response to hit 1-5 without reply. Just goes to show the pedigree and I suppose the hunger in your side.
Yeah, it was, and I'd say, not too sure now, but I'd say there wasn't too many wides on our part, or maybe not in Ballyduff Lower either, so like accuracy from both sets of forwards was very good, and it was, like I said, it was a great game to watch, I'd say, but thankfully we got on the right side of it.
You did, and not a bad personal display from yourself. 20 points, I think you ended up with 10 frees, 9 from play, and a 65. Was that one of your best ever displays in the Ballyduff jersey?
Yeah, I'd say it is now. It's kind of back on the frees there this year, so it's kind of a confidence thing, when they're going right for you, it kind of gets more out of you from play. So, like I said, though, it doesn't really matter who scores. Like the last 2 days, other players stepped up against Slashmore, so, and against Shamrock, so it really doesn't matter at the end of the day as long as we're on the right side of the scoreline.
Absolutely, and of course you have the added prize now of being back up senior as well, and especially, Mikey, the fact you've bounced back straight away, coming down intermediate, very hard, great to get out of. I know the championship structure this year was different with COVID, and I suppose it's great to be back playing, but to bounce back at the first time of asking must be really satisfying.
Yeah, I think it's a big thing, because like if you come down and you stay down, there's no guarantees like how long it'll take to get back up, because it's such a competitive grade. There's anyone can beat anyone on a given day, and we're just glad to get back up. And we know we have a tough task going back up senior, but look, that's where you want to be. All these young fellas growing up, that's what they want to do, is play senior. So look, we'll take from next year on, and we can see how it goes.
Absolutely, and you see the level of youthfulness in your team, and you still have the Kearneys there, and Seamus Hannon, even Shane, rock solid in defence as well, Michael McCormack in the goal as well. So there's that level, I suppose, of youth and experience in your panel as well. And your juniors reached the county final as well the other night. So bright future ahead for the club.
Yeah, exactly. It means a lot there. This year training, we're up in 25-30 numbers each night, so it was so great to get the juniors going well. They were a young team, and to get to a county final, and they were in hard luck the other night, and we need to bring them young fellas through onto the intermediate and back up senior now again, and mix that young blood with old blood, and get us playing a style of hurling that it's enjoyable to watch, and get us the wins and everything. So at the moment, hopefully the club is going in the right direction, and we'll just see how it goes from here on.
Absolutely. And final point then before we leave you, join your teammates. It's great to be back, I suppose, playing hurling. Even more special to win a county final, even though you can't be with your supporters tonight. I know they were tuned in from at home and all around the world, and you'd be bringing the cup maybe back up to the pitch tomorrow or whenever, and I suppose bringing that bit of silverware back to a club when you haven't had it in quite a while. It's something special as well.
Yeah, of course it is, especially for the older people in the club, like fellas there. I don't want to name names because I'll forget someone, but it means a lot for them now. They couldn't be here today, and with this COVID, they're finding things tough, maybe stuck in their homes and can't get out as much. So it was just lucky that hopefully they got to see the game today, and hopefully that get around maybe to their house, or something can happen during the week that they can see the silverware, because only for them people the club wouldn't be where it is. So just glad that we could do it for them.
Great stuff, Mikey. And just one final point before eventually we go, obviously with the structure this year as well, you need extra time in a couple of games. You're playing week on week, and it was great, I suppose, that club players knew their set dates, and you'll be going back now. Well, hopefully Inter-County will get to go ahead in October, but this set fixture schedule, is this something that ye as club and Inter-County players, from your experience, that could be the way forward?
Yeah, I think so. Like if you ask the club hurlers, what did they find with this the way this competition was run? They were happy with it because they could book holidays. They know when they're playing and stuff like that. And you're playing week on week, so you don't get to train that much maybe after tough games and going into extra time. But there's something about playing week on week. Everyone wants to be out playing matches. Training is tough and all, but everybody wants to be playing matches. So I think if it can be looked into something like this in the future, it would be great. But look, who knows? I'm not one to call that, but we'll just see how things get on.
And say, well, enjoy the celebrations, and well done on being crowned Intermediate champs, Mikey.
Cheers. Thanks, Gavin.
Wasn't it, from Mikey Kearney last night? An absolute joy to watch, and in fairness on the Ballyduff Lower side, Caleb Lyons, Jack Lyons and Ronan Dunphy, who shot 4 from play, they were really excellent as well, left everything out in the field, but it was Ballyduff Upper's night. I also spoke to the winning Ballyduff Upper manager, Maurice Geary, a legend in Ballyduff and indeed Waterford hurling. He was overjoyed at the full-time whistle after another mammoth battle.
Yeah, Gavin, we were absolutely delighted. Heart-stoppy again. This team is a very difficult team if you're a manager, because you're wondering, are you going to have a traumatic shock? But it was a fantastic performance. I thought, to be honest, we were in trouble there with about 15 minutes to go. The legs seemed to be dying a bit, but in fairness to them, they came back again and pushed on, and I think we were clear enough winners at the end.
You certainly were. It was a real open game of hurling. Just said it to Mikey Kearney there as well. Some of the scores on both sets of sides, both teams left everything out in the field, and that contributed to an open game of hurling, I suppose, Morris, maybe, which I thought it was tonight.
It was a fabulous game, particularly if you were neutral, if you were involved with the teams. I suppose, as I said, it was difficult, but there was some massive hurling in that game. Some fantastic scores by both sides, long range points, players under pressure on the strike, and still managed to get it over the bar. So it's an awful pity that there was no one here to see it, but I hope it was just as good on television as it was in reality.
Yeah, I'm sure it certainly was, and great I suppose victory for the club as well, bouncing back. I said it to Mikey there, from the relegation, the disappointment last year. It was a fast-paced championship this year. I suppose we didn't think we'd have a championship for a while, but to bounce back at the first time of asking that's really pleasing.
Yeah, it is, Gavin. I think if you don't get back up to first year, you're in trouble. And it happened to us in 2004 again, and we came back up in 2005. And sometimes relegation can actually, give you a boost again, because you're back in the championship and you have a chance of winning games. Whereas we were struggling in the last 4 or 5 years in the senior grade. So, it's a great boost to the club. We've done well as well. Our junior team were in a county final on Friday night, and there's some good young players coming through.
There certainly is indeed, and we have to give, I suppose, great mention to Mikey Kearney, who racked up 20 points tonight, 9 from play, 10 frees and 165. I put it to him there, probably one of his best displays ever in the red jersey.
That it must be a record, I'd say, in any county. It was fantastic. Mikey. We decided at the start of the year that we'd put Mikey in the full forward line to give us a bit of punch up front. And I know he prefers maybe out further, but he's been phenomenal for us. And again, today was no exception. I didn't realise he had scored that many points. But Mikey, to be fair, I wasn't the only one, and he'd be the first to admit that. We had some great performances all through the field.
Yeah, he certainly admitted that there as well. And it was that quality ball, Maurice, especially in the first half, you were trying to play that diagonal ball. That's the kind of tact maybe you were trying to employ, and your use of the ball like all through the field was very impressive.
Yeah, that was our game plan really from the start of the championship. We had decided to get the ball in fast, and even the inside line have always said to the backs, don't worry about placing it, just get it in front of us and we'll get it. And in fairness, they've been doing it for the 4 or 5 games we've played in the championship, and they've got some great scores.
It's been a remarkable journey. I was just looking at even reading out your path to the final beforehand from the round 1 game against Ballyduff, where you looked for in trouble maybe for a long while, to today. You had extra time, you had penalties, and the games are coming so thick and fast, I suppose, week on week, that fitness came into it as well. It was an incredible few weeks, but I suppose that's what club players want, maybe, this week on week. Constant matches, kind of.
Yeah, I suppose, look, to be honest, I even said it to Shamrocks when I spoke to them after the match. I said it to Clashmore last Sunday, and I said it to Ballyduff again today. We've been extremely lucky, but I suppose the team have showed great character. Against Ballyduff, I'd say 25 minutes into the game, we were 11 points down, and we got 2 goals before half-time, which was a huge help. Against Shamrocks, we were 5 points down with 6 minutes to go, came back, and we had extra time, and we pulled away in that one. And again, against Clashmore, we were 4 points down, I'd say, with a minute or 2 left in extra time, and managed to pull it back again. So, as I said, the team showed great resolve, great character.
Absolutely, and final point indeed before we leave you, join the rest of the celebrations. It's a great day for the club, bouncing back first time of action, of asking even no Munster club, unfortunately, with the way things are, but you're back in the senior championship now, and that's a big boost for the club.
Yeah, it's great. We've the intermediate grade has actually been very good to us. The first time it was introduced in 64, the 2 Ballyduffs played again, and we were winners that time. In 75, we won the intermediate, and it held a great period of success for the club. We won 2 senior titles, and we won it again in 2005, and 2 years later we won a senior. I'm not suggesting for a minute, Gavin, it's going to happen this time, but it is a boost for us.
You're certainly up there, yeah. And maybe just on that as well, just looking at today, the senior final, like Ballygunner did 7 in a row, big win over Passage, 123 to 9 points, another phenomenal display. The work they're doing there, and I suppose they seem to be getting better every year. Is it pretty ominous for the rest of the clubs?
It is, to be honest about it. It's hard to see where a team is going to come from that will put it up to Ballygunner. They're an absolutely superb team, and great underage players coming through as well. But look, the clubs still have to keep fighting, and you can't start the championship year kind of saying, well, Ballygunner are going to win. You've got to give it your all and see where that takes you.
And just one final point, I think I mentioned to Mikey there about this game, the fact that the Western Board and the County Board, great organisation of this, last 5 weeks, games were coming thick and fast. Is this maybe the future for it, maybe a set club season and a set county season?
Gavin, I've been saying it for years. I think hurling and football are 2 completely different games, and it doesn't make sense to play 2 hurling matches and then you go 2 football matches and so on. It's crazy. You're talking about, okay, they're under the same umbrella, but 2 completely different games, and I think this has to be the way to go. And I guarantee you'll find the standard of football will be better as well for the next 5 or 6 weeks.
Well, Maurice, many congratulations on the win, and enjoy the celebrations.
Yeah, thanks, Gavin.
WLR
So there you have it. Congrats again, Ballyduff Upper, and thanks indeed to Maurice Geary for that particular piece. Also, breaks my heart to say it, of course, but we do congratulate Tramore on winning the County Junior A Hurling Championship title. A deserved win over ourselves, Colligan, there on Saturday night in the final. Bitter pill for ourselves to swallow, but look, I suppose that's the way things go. Goals win games on the night, and 3-8 to 13 points was the full-time score. 4 second half points there from Charlie Kelly, and that injury time goal from David O'Brien, clinching victory there for the Eastern side. Colin Dunford was exceptional from Colligan's point of view, shooting 6 points from play. But we'll take a clip there now from the victorious Tramore captain Brendan Hogan, who admitted it was a huge result for the club and to banish the disappointment from their county final defeat 2 years ago.
It's absolutely massive for us. The last 3 years we've been building this team. Like the work that has been put into us and the work that we've put in is just phenomenal. Like, and it's just days like this that it just really pays off. And it's not even just for us. Like it's for all the young lads. Like the whole of Tramore is behind us. The young fellas, you see, they're just mad to see it. Like they love seeing it. They know us all by name. Like we're down training when they're training, and it just gives them such a boost to see us going somewhere. So it's just a serious weekend for the club, it's been.
And also well done to Clonea, who won the County Junior B Hurling title victory over Ballyduff Upper on a Friday night in Fairfield. And also to Kilgobnet, they won the Junior C title on Saturday afternoon with a hard-fought win over Tramore. 10 points there from Tomás Fahy, who rolled back the years. A virtuoso display by Tomás. So the Kilgobnet men claimed the Junior C title, 114 to 111 victors over Tramore. Much more coming up in part 3. Do indeed stay tuned.